Hey everyone, today I have for you this 2019 Chevy Camaro. Gonna take you on a little walk around. It does have the RS package, as you can see. I believe that gives you like this bright kind of green color with the racing stripe and the black wheels. It all looks very nice. I also love these tinted windows. I think those look really good on this car. But we'll keep going around the back here. As you can see, the racing stripe kind of continues and you get a little spoiler in the back. I like these kind of like clear taillights right there. I think that's like a really nice upgrade for the refreshed Camaro. I will show you guys under the hood real quick. As soon as I can find the latch, there it is. All right, as you can see, this is just the V6. If I knew it was gonna be the V6, I probably wouldn't have reviewed it for you guys. But you know, it's a Camaro. It's still a cool car despite that. As you can see, just so much room between the engine and the front of the car. Definitely they designed this with a lot bigger of an engine in mind. Definitely a cool looking engine bay. But I'll close up the hood here. I'll show you guys the trunk space really quick. All right, kind of funny, like just a little trunk lid right there. Trunk space is actually not bad. You get a pretty sizable trunk, at least for a two-door sports car. But we will close up the trunk and we'll hop in this thing. Very cold and windy out here. All right. We'll start it up. Start button is right here. This center screen right here is pretty standard. It shows your miles per hour, your fuel economy, your range, your oil life, tire pressure, just your standard stuff. Air filter life, average speed. One cool thing it does is it has a timer, and it also has your G-forces. Yeah, right there. This shows your G-forces on either side. I think that's kind of neat. These buttons cycle between your tracks. This is your volume controls right here. This controls the center screen. You also have your Bluetooth phone controls right here. You have your paddle shifters. Center screen, pretty much like all the other GM products. Pretty good, responds very quickly. You get your audio, your phone, Wi-Fi hotspot, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You had OnStar, you can adjust your climate through here. A bit of a nitpicky complaint is you don't get a tuning knob. You just have to use these seat track buttons right here. Could be a little bit bothersome, but it gets the job done. You also have your climate controls down here. These are very easy to use, very self-explanatory. One interesting thing is you use this big dial right here to adjust the temperature, and you do the same on this side for the fan speed. I think that's a cool little detail. I definitely like the integration of this. I think this is very unique. You do get your shifter for the 10-speed automatic. All V6 models of the Camaro come with a 10-speed. I'll talk about how it drives, how the 10-speed operates when we get out on the road. You have your traction control off. You also have your drive mode selector right here, so I can cycle between Tour, Snow and Ice, and Sport mode. I usually leave it, I've been leaving it in sport mode. Just think that's the best mode for this car. You also have your electronic e-brake right here. And we'll check out the center console. Pretty tiny, not a whole lot of space, as you can see. But, you know, at least they give you one. And you also get a glove box over here, decent size, really not too bad. You also have a nice sunroof. We can open that real quick. There we go. Pretty big sunroof, actually. As you can see, these are the back seats. Not even gonna try to get back there. Like, there's literally, my hand can barely even fit in the seat, so really not the best place to be back there. You also get a Bose sound system. Has a really good bass to it, has really good range. I definitely like the sound of it. Yeah, let's get this Camaro out on the road. Let's talk about how it drives. Do a little turning radius check here. Really, like, honestly, a pretty good turning radius. Rather impressed with that. First thing you notice when getting in this car is just how narrow this windshield is. And this front hood is very big and blocky. This car feels pretty wide. It feels very low and very wide when you drive it for the first time. You do get used to it pretty quickly. It just feels a little unusual in its dimensions when you first drive it. This V6, you know, it's a little disappointing. It kind of reminds me of like the Traverse or something like that, and just like the sound and the feel of it. It doesn't have that balls to the wall performance that you'd expect from a Camaro. I will say it does sound a little bit better than like some of the Chevy crossovers that use this engine. I think the exhaust is a little bit better. It doesn't really wow you, is what I'd say. Gets you right up to speed just fine. Perfect for everyday driving, has good performance. It doesn't have that wow factor that you might expect from a Camaro. It does have a pretty smooth power band though. It's very easygoing. You can easily tell like where your RPMs are at. Easy to control, easy to modulate your acceleration. I also really like the steering. It's nice and heavy. It feels like a sports car when you drive it. Also, it's pretty raw in the steering. You get like a good sense of the road you're driving on. You kind of feel some pavement feedback. A lot of cars these days with electric power steering don't quite feel very communicative or anything. They feel more like you're steering a computer or something, but this definitely feels a lot more raw and a lot more gives you a lot more feedback than you might expect. Try giving it some gas here. Does a good job. Those shifts sound really good when you go like full throttle like that. I want to talk about this 10-speed. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of this 10-speed. I know it's gotten rave reviews all over, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. I feel like it doesn't always shift when you expect it to. I'm in sport mode and it kind of upshifts really early in the power band. I feel like it doesn't really let you access as much power as you'd like. And I also find that it kind of hunts around for gears a little bit. Even if you just want to speed up like by small increments, you kind of have to plant your foot down and wait for a kickdown from the transmission. So that is like a little bit annoying. I mean, otherwise it's fine. It's very smooth shifting and it feels decently snappy. And how it shifts, I just think the shift logic could be a little bit better with this 10-speed. As you can see there, it kind of like, it does hunt around for gears a little bit. We'll try out the paddle shifters. And again, these paddle shifters, they don't respond very quickly. We'll try upshifting here and see how that is. Yeah, it takes its time with the shifting, with the paddle shifters. So I don't know, I'm not crazy about this 10-speed. I don't think it's quite as impressive as, people make it out to be. Otherwise, this car is great though. I really can't knock it too hard in any particular category, because I do really enjoy driving it. Just like a bit of a letdown, a V6 and this transmission isn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be, but we'll try out this handling here. And it feels very buttoned down, a little bit heavy, a little bit on the heavy side, but very flat, very grounded, and very buttoned down handling. It's a very predictable car to drive. You always feel like you know exactly where the front wheels are. The ride quality is a little bit firm, a little bit choppy, as you would expect from a muscle car. I'm really not going to knock it for that, because this ride is very good, actually, you know, for a muscle car. It really does ride fairly smoothly. It's only when you're on like really choppy pavement that, you know, the car starts to jostle around and your coffee kind of splashes everywhere. But when you're on just like a normal smooth road surface like this, it's all very refined. This accelerator is nice and responsive. It's a nice stiff floor-mounted accelerator. That choppy ride, like I said, felt those bumps a little bit. But this accelerator, it's nice and responsive. Really, you just kind of tap it and the car wants to fly. Definitely like that a lot. Brakes are kind of the same story, you know. The brakes are very predictable though. They're not at all touchy or hard to operate. They have a very normal bite to them, a very normal bite. Of course, they do feel nice and powerful. This whole car is just like it's a drama-free experience driving it. Nothing feels particularly difficult about driving it. I think the visibility could be a little bit better. I mean, if you're coming from like an SUV or something that's like really easy to see out of, this definitely requires a bit of a learning curve. Just kind of this like narrow windshield, this big hood, these pretty thick pillars. But like I said, you get used to it very quickly, and it just becomes like any other car once you get used to it. So overall, pretty good. All right, we'll try like a harder acceleration here. As you can see, the horn works fine in front of a Camaro. Like, come on. Try a little handling test right here, see how it does. All right, very good. As I said, very rigid handling. Definitely like it a lot. Steering feels great through the corner, feels nice and firm and very consistent. Yeah, very good. Fun car to drive fast, for sure. You do hear some tire noise in this car. It's not like a bad thing. I mean, it's not like intrusive, but these bigger tires, you definitely get a little bit of noise from them. Wind noise is okay, you know, it's about average for a car, for a normal everyday car. I really haven't noticed a prevalent amount of wind noise. It's mostly just like tire noise that you kind of hear a little bit, but overall not too bad. Pretty good highway performance. The V6 could be a little bit quicker on the highway. Doesn't really have that crisp level of passing power that you might expect, but it's doable. It's not too bad. Brake stop very good. See how well this transmission responds. So put my foot down. That was about like 50% throttle. It took like a second to kick down for me. We'll try our cloverleaf off ramp, see how it does. All right. Yeah, very good. Better than average, I'd say. Yeah, very good. A little heavy, but very grounded. All right, you guys, well, that about sums up my review on this Camaro. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a cop right there. Yeah, fun car to drive. You know, handles well, feels very flat in the corners. Has nice, firm, nice chunky steering to it. A little bit choppy of a ride, and this 10-speed is not perfect. You know, this interior, it's not like the most luxurious place to be, and I also wish it had a V8. I mean, the V6 is fine, it makes good power, but it just feels a little bit like a minivan. I mean, it sounds decent, but it just doesn't have the wow factor that you might expect. But yeah, you guys, we're gonna shut it off and we're gonna hop out. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.